Good morning. I'm back again. I'm going to start video 2 on chapter 9. Talk about adaptive radiation first as a type of divergent evolution, in particular in very specialized habitats or on islands, and then move from adaptive radiation, to different types and mechanisms behind speciation. Okay. So let's start out here with adaptive radiation. Adaptive radiation is a type or a result of divergent evolution, often in a new environment, such as an island, a volcanic island. It may also involve, say, a lake or a coral reef where a colonist adapts, and the different forms that adapt to different environments or different niches can result in a wide array of new species. So, let me give you a couple of examples that have been used to support this concept of adaptive radiation. Number one is considered to be the goldfinch type ancestor of the Hawaiian honey creepers. So from the previous slide, it says a common goldfinch-like ancestor arrived in Hawaii from either North America or Asia. It's not really known, about 5 million years ago, and divergent evolution in new habitats, different niches, resulted in well over 30 to maybe 40 different species of what are called the Hawaiian honey creepers. You see some of them are insect feeders off of leaves or bark. Some feed on nectar, and some feed on fruits and seeds, and just a very few are what are called generalists that have a very varied diet. Most are very specialized, have a very specialized niche. So, adaptive radiation has been used, again, for the Darwin's finches or Galapagos Islands finches, from an ancestral seed-eating, ground-feeding finch from maybe Central America, maybe Panama or Ecuador in South America, to at least 14 different species of finches that have very specialized environments in which they live and specialized niches or roles in those environments. Let me give you a third example of adaptive radiation. Different species of poison arrow or poison dart frogs that live within the Caribbean. So different color patterns have developed. They all have a very similar body shape, very shiny, slick, moist body, but very different color patterns. And these different color patterns are often associated with different islands, with a geographic isolation, and different habitats within some of these little islands, if you will, in the Caribbean. Here we're referring to little islands that are off of the coast of South America. Okay. That kind of begin the archipelago that we refer to as the Caribbean islands or the West Indies. So let me give you a fourth example. In the Rift Valley of Eastern Africa, there are several large freshwater lakes, and each of these lakes once contains hundreds of different species of freshwater fish that are called cichlids. A lot of these fish are now rare, some are even extinct due to introduction of a food fish called the Nile perch that once occurred in the Nile River, was its primary location. So here you have a freshwater isolated lake, and adaptive radiation is considered to be this mechanism of divergent evolution into a multitude of different species that have different niches and live in maybe different specialized environments within the freshwater lake. Okay, so in all of these cases here of convergent, divergent, and parallel evolution, the ending of such evolution, if you will, is species. And speciation is part of the evolutionary process. It doesn't always occur, but in certain conditions it does. Speciation, again, is the evolutionary process that occurs to form a new species of organism. The definition of a species is very difficult. I'll just say that. There's no real good definition. The best definition that a lot of people accept is a species is what a person who identifies species calls a taxonomist. That a species is what a taxonomist calls a species. So in that regard, defining a species is very difficult. The most common definition you'll see in a 100 level biology course is the one given by Ernst Mayr from 1942. Mayr defined a species as interbreeding populations that do not interbreed with other populations. And you can specify that a little bit more to say populations that interbreed and form fertile offspring. There are other definitions that include anatomy, morphology, behavior, and even genetics, chemistry. Some definitions of species include different organic molecules that might be present in one but absent in another. So the definition and the delineation as to what really is a species is actually very difficult. It's not as easy as one might think. So with this particular slide, I'm going to end this video since it's about 8 minutes and I only have about 7 more minutes. So I'm going to divide up this into a fourth video, and when I begin this fourth video, if you will, it will talk about different ways that species can form. Okay, thank you. Y'all take care. Bye.